Welcome to GameSpot's E3 2018 coverage. I'm Callie. I'm here with Arthur Parsons. You are at TT Games, here to show us Lego DC Supervillains.
Yeah, Lego DC Supervillains.
Supervillains, yeah.
Villains.
So I guess we can just start there. Tell me a little bit about the premise of the game. There's going to be a lot of villains. We've seen Joker, Harley Quinn. Can you give us a little more background on that?
Yeah, so obviously we've made some DC Lego games in the past, 3 great Batman games. And when we came to the point where we were going to make another DC game, we wanted to just do something completely new and exciting and fresh and different. And DC has such a great roster of villains. And for anyone that's played the original Lego Batman in 2008, there were actually hero and villain missions back then. And for 10 years, myself and the team have wanted to make a villain game because everyone wants to play the bad guy. Everyone wants to play Vader or Voldemort or whoever it may be. So it was absolutely like the perfect fit to do something fresh and invigorating with DC and just focus on the villains. All of those villains, like you say, Riddler, Clayface, just get them front and center, Poison Ivy. They're just great characters.
So was there anything specific that inspired it, or is it more just like, it's about time we got the villains in here?
Yeah, So we wanted to do the villains because we wanted to bring the Crime Syndicate, so the Earth 3 Justice League. They've never featured in a game, as far as I know, and they've definitely never featured in a Lego game. We wanted to bring them in. So there's a Forever Evil comic series that we really wanted to kind of dial into when the bad guys kind of like have to be good guys, and then the Justice Syndicate are involved, and that was kind of a bit of inspiration. But when we just were spitballing blank piece of paper, we just wrote down the word villains and funny, and it kind of went from there. Villains are just funny. When they try and work together well, it doesn't work. They're funny, and you can get away from the sort of maybe slightly stuffiness of like, I'm Batman and like I'm all serious, and Superman all being all well behaved, and we can just go crazy.
Yeah, I mean, Lego games are kind of known for their sense of humor in a lot of ways, and a lot of like cheeky charm, I would say. And so it sounds like that really fits.
Yeah, but it's getting that and just like kind of cranking it right up. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's something new, or what are some new things that Lego game fans can look forward to?
So like what we can see here is the fact that not only are you playing villains as the core drive in the game for the first time, we're actually allowing players to make their own villain character who's going to be front and center in the story. So whatever, if it is like crazy barfly guy, whatever character someone chooses to make, and the options are endless in terms of the customization levels and the powers you can assign and the pieces you can use, and you can just go crazy. But this character, it's not just a visual thing. The character gets powers and is in your party in the story and appears regularly in the story and is a driving force of kind of the story's climax. So it's something we've never done it. We've never done a villain focused game. We've never done putting a character front and center in the game. And I think people are just going to really, really love this aspect. I've got kids. My kids love when they play in a game customizing stuff. When they're playing Rocket League, they spend 10 minutes customizing, which is longer than the match that we're going to play. But I think people are going to love to make their own villain to take into the game. It's a great feature.
Why hasn't there been customization in Lego so far? I mean, like you think of Lego as being a very creative thing. You create, you mix and match, you build a lot of things just in real life with real Legos. Why customization now?
We've always had customization, but as a free player side. So you take any of the Lego Batman games, you can unlock pieces for the customizer, and if you want to, you can go and make some characters and do stuff, and it goes all the way back to the original Lego Star Wars when we did it there. But we've never done it to this degree, to this depth, and we've never done it as in put like here, straight away in the story. Mr. GameSpot Butterfly is there with Lex, and but we've never done it and put it front and center, and we were just sat there going, why not? Why don't we do that? Because that's what people are going to want to do. And this character is going to then become an integral part of the story, and everyone's experience will be slightly different.
Right. It was just a huge change having that customizable, playable character with such a big influence. We are watching gameplay right now, correct?
Yep.
We're playing right now. So can you walk us through kind of what's going on? Besides, we saw the customization. I'm loving that this is our mascot.
So basically, this is a situation where Lex and the rest of the Legion of Doom are trying to break out of Strikers Island prison, where they've been kept. They take Rookie, the customized character, with them. And the whole initial purpose of this is they're breaking out, and there's a reason they're breaking out. At the end of the very first level, the Justice League, as usual, turn up to thwart the Legion of Doom. But all of a sudden, the Justice League vanish. They're replaced by the Justice Syndicate, who are pretending to be good guys, but as everybody that knows comics know, they're not nice. Owlman, Ultraman, and Grid, and Johnny Quick, and Sea King, and all the other guys, they're really not nice. But they're just pretending to be good, and they're living the lives with the Justice League, so people think everything's fine. But the bad guys get onto it, and that's where the kind of story starts to. It's like this isn't right. Something's wrong. We want to be villainous. Like Superman just normally puts me in prison. This guy's being really mean, and then that's where we go. And then eventually we get big bad come, which is Darkseid, and loads of crazy stuff happens. But all the way along, your villains are trying to do stuff, and they don't work well together. Joker doesn't work well with anyone. So let alone Riddler and Clayface and Poison Ivy, and it just becomes a really, really funny game to play. And obviously having your customized character in there with the abilities that you give them, and upgrading through the game is just another great sort of aspect.
Yeah, so now that we're looking at some combat, are there any big changes? I mean, talking about customizing your abilities and stuff like that.
Yeah, so every character's got special moves. There's grab moves. Here you can see Lex doing slam moves. Every different character, we pride ourselves at TT Games on the authenticity and the fun nature of all the characters. But on this game, we've kind of upped that a level with special moves and grab moves and all kinds of weird stuff that's in there, and it's all very over the top. We've tried to really push the boat out on this one, and vibrancy. The DC villains are so colourful and bright, and it's not like Batman Dark and broody. It's like vibrant. Everything is super vibrant.
Mm-hmm. So this is an original story, but how heavily does it draw on the comics?
It's pretty heavily sort of like dipped into comics, because we like to make all of our sort of hub gameplay and all of our dialogue and references. They have to be grounded in lore. We don't want like surface humor. It has to be humor that's bedded down for fans of DC Comics, because that's as a gamer, if I was wanting to play the game, that's what I would want, and the team all think that way. So we all try and make sure everything's like really bedded in comics. So we'll reference lots of different comics and TV shows and everything DC. Really, we immerse ourselves in as much as we can.
Mm-hmm. What have you guys learned from working on the Lego Batman games, and did you apply any of that to this one?
We learn on every game,
right?
And the things that we learn. Sometimes people would never notice those things. Sometimes it's to do with how we educate players. Because don't forget, this could be someone's very first Lego game, so it needs to be really, really accessible and easy to play. But then there's probably hardened gamers that are going to play this as well, so it has to have that added depth. But yeah, we learn everything specifically from the Batman games. We've learned that people wanted a bigger open world. Lego Batman 1 just had Arkham and the Batcave, and you could toggle between. It was great. And then Lego Batman 2 had open world Gotham. Lego Batman 3, we had planets you could go to, the Lantern Worlds. But people wanted an open world that wasn't just Gotham. So we with Lego DC Supervillains, we give them Gotham and Metropolis. We also give them Belle Reeve, Strikers Island, Arkham Asylum. It's pretty much every place in DC that you're going to visit at some point in the story, which is cool.
That sounds enormous. That sounds like that's a lot to take in.
Yeah, and it's testament to the team. The team I work with are just super enthusiastic, and it's that added level of putting little touches and nuances in there. It's like the Smallville area of the hub with the farm and everything. It's just cool being able to go into the shops and then things are getting referenced that are nods to things that maybe some people won't get, but fans of DC and knowing about Smallville, they'll get it. It's great.
That's actually my next question was going to be, I mean, like I played a lot of the Lego Star Wars games. That was like really my jam when I was a bit younger. And one of my favorite things was finding all the collectibles and finding, little Easter eggs. And I was wondering if you could give us a little preview of what kind of Easter eggs, maybe an example, because I know there's going to be some in here.
Yeah, there is. Probably way too many. Some of it comes from like the people that are maybe voice acting some of our cast, so we'll put references in that way. Some of it comes.
You have Tara Long as Harley Quinn.
Tara's in there as Harley, but it's like it's a top tier cast. So a lot of the gags are sometimes Easter eggs that people maybe won't get onto, but if they do, they realise. But then there's an awful lot of Easter eggs just hidden around in the areas. So there's little nods to classic cartoons that kind of some of us grew up with, especially with the Hall of Doom. And I think as people play, they'll find their own Easter eggs because you've got Easter eggs that are kind of for the younger audience, and then Easter eggs for people like me that are a lot older, and everyone's going to find something in there.
Right, making it something for everybody, from gameplay to references to all that.
Definitely, and that's why we love making these games, because they appeal to everyone, like all audiences, hardcore comic fans, people that just want a fun game, kids whose it's their first game, or kids that just like, maybe just like Harley Quinn, or they want it, they watched Suicide Squad and it's like, I want to play those guys. It's like, but in a light-hearted, entertaining way.
Absolutely. Before we wrap up, anything else you want to point out about the gameplay we're seeing right now before we go?
So there's one last thing is, and I'm glad we got to this point. So throughout the course of the story, you do power up your character. So Mr. GameSpot here is gonna be able to absorb energy. You power them up, and each time you do power them up, you get a new ability. So that goes on top of the abilities that you've already given your character. You can then customize that ability. So in this situation, we've unlocked heat beam. So you can pick what type of beam you want. You can then pick what color it is. So we could go in here and go, I'm going to have an orange beam. I'm going to have a red beam, blue beam, whatever beam it is. And then you can pick the origin. So left hand, right hand, both hands, eyes, chest, torso, weapon. And that's the cool thing. Your character is constantly sort of getting upgraded. It's not a hardcore RPG, but those elements really make you buy into wanting your character and wanting to know how your character is getting on, and the interactions between your character and the Legion of Doom and everyone else that's in the game. People are just going to love this feature. But for I'm an impatient gamer. For impatient gamers, there's also a button that just says randomize and go. So everyone's covered.
So you got the surprising amount of depth to the customization, but also for people who just want to blast stuff, just whatever works.
Yeah, I just want to get in there, get my trophies, get my achievements, randomize and go. I'm out of here. So, but yeah, it's a bit of something for everyone, and we just can't wait for people to play it. So it's going to be October the 16th. The game's out. PS4, Xbox One, PC, and Switch. And people can pre-order it now because there's this like super awesome deluxe edition that includes season pass and also a Lex in his power suit minifig, which is really cool.
Well, there you have it. That was Lego DC Supervillains. Thank you so much. Arthur Parsons, head of design at TT Games.
Thank you.
Very nice having you. For more on Lego DC Supervillains and a bunch of other stuff from E3 2018, we have it all on GameSpot, so check it out.